Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This time I'm going to show you how to complete all 3 Glide to Chocobo courses in the Cosmo Canyon region. This will show you how to get the maximum score on all 3 courses, and for the 3rd and final course, I'm going to show you a route that makes it a lot easier, although it is still a difficult challenge, but my route is going to make it a lot easier to get those final 2 500s that are probably eluding you. So without further ado, let's get started with the first one. Right off the bat, I recommend disabling the motion sensor. Just do this using the sticks, it's way easier. Jumping off the platform, we are just going to glide through these first hundreds. I'm only pitching down ever so slightly at this point. I'm just trying to avoid this ridge here. So in order to do that, just pull back on the sticks. Unfortunately, there's no way to invert these controls. I do play with inverted y-axis usually, but there's no way to invert these controls. So if you do, sorry, there's no way to do that. Okay, moving over to this next 300, you want to begin pitching down, otherwise you will coast right over it. And again, I'm pitching down very slightly here. And the reason for that is because if you pitch all the way down, you'll start doing a dive bomb, and then you'll have to push up on the sticks to get lift, but you will never reach at the height that you started that dive bomb at. So you got to be very careful. All right, so these fans, they will automatically lift you up no matter where you are. As long as you're near them in the general vicinity, you will get lifted up. So from here, we are just gradually pitching this down. And once we start going through this first 300, we pitch down a little bit further just to get a bit more of an aggressive angle. We're basically aiming for the center of the zeros here with the Chocobo's head and Yuffie's head. So once you reach this 300, pitch down a little bit more, and then we're going to just glide gently into these 500s. Once you're over them, you can either dive down or just let go of R2, and the Chocobo will drop straight down. So that is the first course. It takes a little while to get used to these controls, especially the pitching, but play that one a few times and you should get it. All right, for the second course, same kind of idea, but now we have moving targets. So as soon as you jump off, just start shifting over to the right a bit, and then you want to aim for that 300 right there. You can really hit anywhere that's either blue or gold on a target, and you will get it as long as you are within the circle. So the top gold icons here, that's sort of like the extreme edge of what you can touch for a target in order to get credit. So just keep that in mind. You can sort of skate some, you can cheat them a little bit, but you really do have to touch the target itself. So for this 300, we are pitching down, and then as soon as we hit the 300, we're pushing back up on the sticks, and then that will allow us to get lift out of that dive. Same exact concept here, except this time it puts us right into the fans. Okay, so for this part, this gets a little bit tricky. Don't freak out by these moving targets. They are going to align for you very, very well. As you can see here, I'm barely steering the bird. I'm just tilting ever so slightly. For this 500, we start our dive bomb, and then right before we hit that 500, we want to go straight up. Go straight up. Do not change directions at that point. You want to stay straight because that target is going to move right in front of you. You do not want to move left or right while coming out of that. Just pick a direction and move in it, and as long as you go straight up, you will hit that 500, or at the very least be able to adjust once you're up, and then you'll get that 500. But that moving 500 out of the dive bomb is kind of tricky, but just trust that you will get it, and don't panic. You will get it. Okay, so for the third and final one, you want to begin charging your takeoff once the 2 500s coalesce and they go right in front of each other. That is when you want to start your jump, because by the time you reach them, they will come back around and you'll get both. All right, so right before you hit this 300, you want to begin pitching to the left and do a hard left turn, basically 180 degrees. This way you can turn right and get that 300. Then we're going to turn slightly left and get this 100. That'll push us into the fans. And from here, we're going to hit this 100, and then shortly after that, we're going to begin our dive bomb. So once the 300 is about to start going off the screen, that's when you want to dive bomb, go all the way, and then just before you hit this 500, you want to begin pushing back up on the sticks. Hold it all the way until the Chocobo levels out. Just keep holding it until you can't hold it anymore. Dive bomb again, and same thing. Hold the sticks all the way up. And then once the bird levels out, let it go. This way you hit the fans and get the maximum altitude there. these targets will begin moving up, so just glide through them. And then this is where my route starts to diverge a bit from what is normal. So we're going to dive bomb here, hit this 300 on the way back up, and then we're going to hit these fans here. Now, unfortunately, I sort of raised too far up and missed those fans, so I turned back around, and I'm going to circle this a bunch of times, but I'm leaving this as is just to show you how free you are in this section and how much time you have to do this. There is no timer on this, and as long as you can manage to keep hitting these fans and getting that gust of air, as long as you can manage that, you can stay in this area pretty much as long as you want and really kind of regain control as best you can. So normally I would cut these sorts of things out, but I wanted to just leave it in because I wanted to show you that you can make mistakes in this section and still save it and be completely fine. Also, truth be told, I was doing this at 3:45 in the morning, and this one course took me over an hour, and I was so exhausted by the time I figured out this strategy that I figured, let's just stick with it, see if we can get it. So hit that 300, move over here for the 5, and then once you hit this last 500 over here, we're going to turn back around and go to the fans. Doing this will allow us to begin our dive bomb, the final dive bomb, at an extreme height that we normally would not be able to reach unless we did it perfectly, which I was never able to do. But if you start at this height, you'll gain enough lift out of the dive bomb to get the 2 final 500s at the end. So once the 300 is about to go off screen, that's when you dive bomb. You want to push up just as you pass the 500. Push up, hold it the whole time, and as long as you hold up the whole time, you will touch the very top of that 300, and then you can just coast over here, glide to the final 2 5s, and you're fine. It's a really, really hard course. The rewards are not worth it, but if you're a psycho like me, you want to complete everything. And so there it is. But that's it. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new videos go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below this video. Don't forget to join the community Discord. The link for that is in the description below. As always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.